Creativity requires self-regulation. What does that mean? You should be very confident, you should be very resilient, you should not be afraid of making a mistake. But some sort of self-awareness is always necessary. There are people who are too self-righteous and self-confident, and sometimes it leads to very bad results. And sometimes they push awful ideas, and everyone is already tired to argue with them. Okay, let's do that. And then in the end, the result is not the best one. It could have been, right? So again, whenever you're creating something, ask yourself, is it good? Like, do not be too harsh on yourself, but you need to be very introspective and to be able to validate it somehow, and also be able to ask for feedback and tolerate the feedback and apply it next time, maybe. Yeah. So being able to approach your ideas a little bit critical. Yeah, don't think that that's the best idea possible. So how being well watched improves your creativity? We discussed that already a little bit, but basically the more you know, the more you have seen, the more patterns you can see everywhere, the more connections you can find everywhere, the more references you can use, the more metaphors you can use, the more metaphors. Before I go away again, for example, the first thing coming up to my mind is how movies are quoting another movie, or a movie is quoting a painting, or a movie is quoting, I don't know, or using some music that has some sort of a background story that supports the story of the narrative or things like this, right? So the more you see, the more you know, the better you can support your idea and the more rounded the idea is. Okay, so let's see. Let's have a look at some practical examples of creativity in event management, right? So we can be creative while coming up with some ideas for the themed events. Again, we can come up with different aesthetical decisions. We can come up with some sort of idea or theme for the event, right? And then whenever we have this concept, we work on implementing the idea in every aspect of this event. Or we can stick to this theme again, coming back to the limitation. We need this theme as a limitation because it basically helps us. Next is interactive installation. What is interactive installation? It's something that can engage the guests into the topic, into the activity, into the event, and of course it creates lots of positive emotions and the person feels like a participant in the event and leaves the event with some nice memories. And even the feeling of belonging to the action. Right. Okay. Unconventional venues. Again, we can be very creative depending on the budget, of course, but we can be very creative in defining the location and deciding on location. Don't know. The first thing coming to my mind is fashion weeks and fashion shows and how amazing sometimes the setting is. You can Google yourself and find your favorite ones. I remember once it was some space academy sort of thing, or a field, or many, many, many cool things. Technology integration, again, it makes it a little bit interactive, makes it modern, makes it memorable. Collaborative workshops using some sort of hosting, some sort of workshops during the event. Again, it helps the engagement. It makes the visitor to feel this, to have this sense of belonging and to learn something and to remember something nice. Have some positive memories about the event. Again, of course, all of these things should be somehow linked to the theme of the event. It can be completely unrelated unless it's the idea of having completely unrelated things during the event. But basically, many times we need to stick to the theme because it's going to, again, enhance the sensation we get from that experience. Okay, so what is event in general? Probably you already learned it, but let's repeat because there are some important clues in that description and something that's going to help you with coming up with certain ideas and certain designs while approaching the event. So events are special temporal phenomena. Each is unique because of interaction among the setting people and management system, including designs, element design, and elements and the program.